learn to draw and sing, and I'm singing. So thanks for coming. Regina, if you were here for the anime slash, so thanks for coming back. So I teach art classes for children, teens, adults. Do it for a while, probably since you guys were like middle, about 10 years. And what I do is a step-by-step drawing class. So what we're going to do today, we'll do this drawing here of Gustav Klimt's Tree of Life, and we'll do it step by step. So I'm going to show you guys how to draw it one line at a time, kind of like we did with the face. So if you didn't hear another drawing we did, I took everybody through a drawing line by line to draw an anime character. So here's our Tree of Life by Gustav Klimpt. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of his work, just to give you a little quick art history lesson. It's always nice to learn about the artist. So he was born in 1862, he lived till 1918. Anybody want to take a guess as to where he was from? Germany, Austria, or France? Anybody want to vote for Germany? Austria? Vote for Austria? Want to vote for Austria? Anybody from France? People vote for France? Okay. Good guess. Come on in, have a seat, girl. Just getting started. Welcome. He was from Austria. So, good guess. Right there. Yep, there were a lot of famous artists from France, right? Matisse. Anybody heard of Matisse? No? He made a lot of oil lilies and it was another time. We have Van Gogh, who was actually originally from the Netherlands but moved to Paris and lived in France. Everybody heard of Van Gogh, right? Mr. Vincent Van Gogh. Yes, there's a lot of good artists from France. So Gustav Klimpt, has anybody ever seen this painting here? This one, it's called The Kiss. Anybody ever seen that one before? I've seen it on like postcards and stuff. This is a really famous one of his called The Kiss, a man leaning over the woman. And it's with Gustav's work, Klimt. If you can see these pictures, I don't know from where you're sitting, but you'll notice that he used a lot of gold in his paintings, and that's kind of unusual. You don't usually see a ton of gold in famous artists' work, since I haven't. So the Tree of Life, the Tree of Life is actually a longer picture, and it actually has this in it, the couple leaning over on one side. And then some of his other work, some of it's like really a little strange for 100 years ago, if you think about it. But usually I found what makes most famous artists famous is that they were doing kind of strange stuff for their time. And people were looking at it and go, what's this guy doing? But, and then 100 years later, we're like, wow, his stuff is pretty cool. Like Van Gogh. I mean, Van Gogh did not even sell, he sold one painting in his whole life. He was totally broke. And, so this is another Klimt, Judith, 1901. I have other things in here. But you can see again the gold, lots of gold. At this time, the art was called Art Nouveau. Have you ever heard of Art Nouveau? No. A lot of swirly metal and all kinds of stuff like that. So we've got trees and trees. Lots of women. He could do portraits, so he could totally paint realistically. Most artists, if you guys love to do art, if anybody here likes to draw a lot, it's really important not to just do your cartoon characters, but to really learn how to draw realistically. Because even if you've seen Picasso or any of the artists where it's more abstract, and you think, oh, that's abstract, I can do abstract. They actually knew how to draw. They actually knew how to draw realistically first. So he drew flowers, sunflowers, kind of nice. And to see, oh, here we go. Here's, again, got part of our painting. If you've ever seen a picture in a book and then seen the real one, like in a museum, have you guys been to the city? Have you been to New York City to a museum like the Met or Museum of Modern Art? No? You guys don't need to get in the city. You're like, We're only an hour away from like the best city in the world, the best cities in the world that has amazing art museums. Stand in front, see if you can find a painting in a book and then see the real thing in person. And you'll be amazed at that the color in the book is off. Do you see how these two totally have different colors to them? You don't know which one is the correct one until you stand in front of the real thing and then you go, oh, that was actually kind of, that blue in the picture was kind of green in the book. So it's kind of cool. The other thing that's really neat about seeing a painting in person is in the book, you see it this big. And the painting could be, especially the huge ones, I mean, if you stand in front of a huge painting and you've only seen it little, it's kind of cool to see it really big. There's another one actually I've seen in a book of the girl with the pearl earring. It's by another artist named Vermeer. I won't go on and on for you guys because I'm like, boring, art history. But it's not so boring, I swear. I used to think, what's the point of learning art history? Because I used to draw in high school and everything too. And then I went to college and I started taking art history classes and I was like, oh, I actually need to know this. If I know this, I can do better art. So there's actually a point to knowing this. But anyway, there was a picture of this girl with a pearl earring, and I saw the real thing, and it was tiny. It was so small. It was like this big, and I said, how the heck did that guy paint that with like a toothbrush, like one bristle on his brush? It was like actually that small, and there was so much detail. So if you get a chance, get to a museum. Anyway, so there's some other fun stuff this guy painted. Here's some very colorful lady. But I think out of all of his things, my favorite are these swirly pictures with the gold. Lots of gold. Gustav Klimpt. One more picture. I just want to show you him with his cat. I don't know, most artists that I've read about were a little cuckoo. They were a little crazy. Artists can be a little crazy. But this guy with his holding his cat there in let's see, so Vienna is Austria, that's like near Germany, and this is 1912, he's there with his cat, outside of his studio. So I don't know, you just decide if he looks a little, I don't know if he was or not, but Mr. Klimpt and his kitty cat. 1912. So it's kind of nice actually that we had photography then to have our, see what these people would like. All right, so what I like to do is, we're going to have a bunch of steps to our lesson today. You have all kinds of things on your table. We have Sharpies, pencils, oil pastels, watercolors. So we're going to actually draw the picture if you'd like in pencil. And then you can actually stop and erase and fix here and there. Try not to get too far behind because I just keep going with the picture. And then when you're done, I would recommend tracing it in the Sharpie because that gives you that nice bold outline. And then what we're going to do is take the oil pastel and we're going to put a little oil pastel, and this one's actually all oil pastel. We're going to put some oil pastel into the branches and then we're going to paint behind, and even like we can paint on the tree or on the pastel itself. You can add different colors if you want yours to be a little more colorful than just, say, like the browns. So what I like to do is start with a little practice sheet. So there we've got parts of our tree here and this little funny little bird. And then you can draw this picture and box next to it, and you can do it in either pencil or